Hey guys, welcome back to Warhammer Weekend Times. I'm your host Stan, and today we've got a 2v2 field battle for y'all, and I am playing as Chaos Undivided, and my ally is going to be Macaroni and Cheese, who is going to be playing as the Orcs and Goblins, and we are going to be up against Mobius, who's playing as the Vampire Counts, and his ally Richard, who is going to be playing as the Dwarves. Let's go ahead and go over the army comps and then jump right into this battle. But Richard's got 2 units of Longbeards with axes. He's also got 2 units of Grudge Thrower catapults. He's got 1 unit of Elders, which his general is going to be in right here. He's also got 2 units of Quarrelers, 1 unit of Thunderers, and then he's got 3 units of Iron Drakes. Actually, that's a lot. He's got a unit of Flame Cannon, and then 4 units of Dwarf Warriors, and then I believe he's got 2 units of Longbeards, 1 on each flank. Then over here for my army, I have a long line of Heretic Halberdiers in front. I've also got 2 units of Chaos Warriors, a couple units of Marauder Axe Throwers, I think about 3 units of Bestigors, 2 units of Chaos Warriors with Halberds. I've got a unit of Khorne Chosen and Nurgle Chosen, and then a Hell Cannon of Chaos. And then over here in the trees, I've got my Cav Force. I've got 2 units of Norsca Raiders, and then some Centaurs, and also my General, who is going to be my Bloodthirster of Khorne, right over here. And then over here for Macaroni and Cheese's army, he has a unit of Orc Boar Biggins, a unit of Savage Boar Boys, and then some Orc Boar Boys. In the front, he has a couple units of Harboth's Orc Archers and some Rudlug's Armored Orcs. He's also got kind of a core unit of, a few units of Savage Orc Boys, some Harboth's Black Mountain Boys in the back, some more elite units, 2 HP I think on those, and then he has some Orc Biggins right over here. In the back, he's also got some Black Orc Destroyers and his Black Orc Bodyguard, which I think his General is in right here. I'm not sure if that's just part of the Bodyguard unit, but that is what the Orc General does look like. He's also got a unit of Trolls here, and then on this flank, he's got some Orc Boar Boys and then some Ogla Khan Wolf Boys. So that is his army. Let's go take a look at Mobius's army. Mobius on his left flank has 2 units of Dire Wolves, very, very nasty in melee combat. They've got a very fast attack animation. In the front, he's also got a long line of zombies, a good meat shield unit. He's bringing 4 units of Empire Archers, 4 units of Graveguard Halberdiers, and then 2 units of Graveguard. Over here on this flank, he's got some Blood Dragons, and then it looks like he's got some Krell's Personal Bodyguard. And for his Cav Force, he's got a unit of Blood Dragon Knights, and then 2 units of Knights of the Black Rail. And actually, I think those are the armies, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and go full speed. And I think the first thing that is actually going to happen is I'm going to take a shot at Richard's army. Where's my Hell Cannon? Yeah, there it is. I'm going to take a shot at his army and miss, but it is going to be close enough to actually shake his Grudge Thrower. So that's actually a good kind of illustration of the morale range that the morale penalty that the shot has on some of these units. But, you know, just being around that fireball and being kind of in that glow area does affect the morale of units, and typically artillery units don't have that high of morale. I've definitely seen certain Empire artillery units just route to Screaming Skull catapult shots, but I'm going to get a nice shot with my Hell Cannon on his other Grudge Thrower unit and actually take out one of his catapults and a few of the crew. That's going to be really nice to take out one of those catapults this early in the game. Hopefully I can get another good shot, or maybe get a nice kind of cluster on his infantry. I am pushing him out of his formation, though. I'm not going to have a lot of opportunity to move my Cav in. Not that I really have a big Cav force. That was a really nice shot there on his Thunderers. And they're going to be shaken too. Actually, Wavering, that was a really, really good shot. So if they were engaged in you know, melee with some of my other units, that could have maybe caused them to rout. But I am going to be moving my Cav up. But like I said earlier, I don't really have very, very much of a Cav force, which, you know, the 2 options were Dwarves or Vampire Counts that I would have been up against, so I really should have probably brought more Cav. It would have helped me more against the Dwarves and helped me against the Vampire Counts, because Vampire Counts typically have really deadly Cav. But I am going to be charging up my Cav and my Bloodthirster of Khorne. This is something you kind of don't want to do. I sent him up a little bit early before the rest of my troops moved in. I was going to move up some Chaos Warriors, hopefully to engage in there. His Iron Drakes are going to start firing at my Centaurs, and I thought, ooh, I don't want any part of that. So I'm going to try and get him out of there, but he's going to take quite a few shots right there from those Iron Drakes, and he's going to live, but he is going to be bloodied up really badly. So That was a kind of a bad mistake on my part. I really should have engaged more of my units, or just kind of waited and fired my hell cannon at him. But once his grudge throwers get into range, he's going to definitely start tearing into my army. I'm going to be very, very careful, and they are going to start firing or get into fire range. It does look like his correlers are going to be kind of firing at some more of my units. I'm not sure if they're going to actually be firing, though. I didn't see any crossbow bolts being shot out. I might be in range. That'd be really bad if I were. It's probably these units over here is what he's shooting at. That's what he was shooting at, because I have a bunch of dead horsemen over here, and they're going to continue to fall to those correler shots. These Norse Raiders don't have the best armor. They do have a shield, so they have a little bit of shield block chance against certain ranged units, but I was going to try and get them into a flanking position because the way he set up his army deployment actually was very, very difficult to approach my cav in kind of any direction. Not only were those stakes a problem, but his Iron Drakes were far enough back in the line where I would have trouble getting them, or getting my units to them, and he is going to actually get a bit of crossfire here on my Vestigor units, and they're going to rout just from those Iron Drakes firing into them and just roasting a lot of these Beastmen units, taking out a lot of them as they are routing too. So even if this unit does come back, I am going to be severely limited on what I can do with them. I'm going to be charging up some more of my units, though, kind of in a loose formation to kind of mitigate that artillery fire that I might kind of encounter when fighting against these dwarves and the grudge throwers. But at this point, I'm really not worried about the grudge throwers. I am very worried about these Iron Drakes that I'm not really able to get my units into. But he is doing a very good job of using these dwarf warriors as kind of meat shields. They typically aren't the best in killing power, but they are very good at holding units in place. Very strong defensive unit, high shield value, but he is just taking a very, very I was gonna say very, very good advantage, but that's not proper grammar whatsoever. He's just taking advantage of this hill, basically, this kind of incline that he has. He's able to shoot with his Iron Drakes very effectively over his own units and into mine. I am going to start kind of engaging, though, with against these Iron Drakes with my Nurgle Chosen, and I am going to be moving my Senegors up again, hopefully to get some charges in. And in comes my Bloodthirster Corn. I almost said Corn Chosen, but he is doing his little slide animation, and I'm going to charge him into these Longbeards with Axes, which is not very intelligent of me because these actually have a cav, a bonus to cav, which the Bloodthirster is classified as missile cav, but he's going to go down, and that's going to be terrible. I had almost no action with this 10,000 gold unit this game, and I really needed to because he had a lot of Bloodthirster had a lot of my killing power. But these Iron Drakes are going to just be tearing my army apart. My Heretic Halberdiers are going to go down very easily to them. They're single HP, so there's not a lot they can do defensively against these Iron Drakes. I am trying to push my units through and engage those Iron Drakes as best as I can just to get them in melee combat so they stop firing into my line. There we go. See, I got these Vestigors in here, and they're not getting their shots off. I think you can toggle fire at will a little bit and have some of an effect on that, but I am going to be kind of charging in and out my Senegors. That's pretty much all I got left for my cav right now, and it is an infantry against infantry fight, which the dwarves are good in. If you're the dwarves and you're playing against a faction that's bringing mostly infantry, things are probably going to go pretty well. Just because they're so weak against cavalry and rear cav charges, but that was a bit of a oversight on my end. I probably should have brought a little different army composition, maybe some chariots to really push through these dwarves. That would have been fun to see, but again, all these stakes in here make it very compromising, because these are at different angles. They're not just all one direction, like, oh, I can kind of just come in and sweep through. If I kind of maneuver the wrong way and hit these spikes the wrong way with my cav, they're gone. I mean, even like flying units just get killed by stakes. The only units I have not seen instantly die to stakes are giants, and they typically take a lot of damage from going through those stakes. So, but anyway, guys, it does look like the engagement is going to be starting over here. It did take them a little bit to time to kind of move up their units, but we do see these direwolves just tearing into the Oglakan Wolfboy unit just absolutely massacring them. Not really losing too many of their direwolves either. I believe direwolves are multi-HP. They're very, very good against infantry units, though. But they're going to do a good job against some of these lightly armored orc units, like these savage orc boys and these Oglakan wolf boys. Were just, I mean, look at all these dead wolf boys. I mean, a couple dead direwolves, I'll give you that, but not many. And they are just going to be closing in. These red lug armored orcs are going to be multiple HP, so they're going to hopefully defend a little bit better against these dire wolves than those savage orc boys did. But they're already routing, and they're pretty numerous still in this unit. There's 75 of that unit. They're not low, but I think the dire wolves or the Knights of the Black Barrel may have incurred some degree of morale penalty on them. Either that, or just the savage orc boys just don't have high morale. Orcs right now in the 1.01 build have pretty low morale. It's definitely workable, but when you're playing against a faction like Vampire Counts, which have a lot of units that do incur morale penalties against the units they're fighting against, it can sometimes get a little nastier. But we do see over here Mobius having his Empire Archers kind of spread out like this, and he's doing a really good job. Usually the Vampire Counts lack in their options for archers, but Mobius just said, I'm going to bring a bunch of archers, and it really worked out well because he is going to be hitting the Savage Orc boys who have no shield, very low armor, pretty much have most of their defense skill from, or, you know, their defense skill from their just, you know, defense skill, or, I don't know. There's, when you look at the units, quote-unquote defense, they have a defense skill, armor, and shield, but, you know, most of their defense is built up from their defense skill, I guess. Repeat myself a bunch of times, but anyway, guys, the Savage Orc boys are going to be getting just eaten up by these dire wolves. Dire wolves are going to start being thinning in numbers. Only about 20 in that unit, 15 in that unit. We do see some of these Harbos Black Mountain boys, some of the elite troops for the orcs and goblins marching down, going to engage against these Knights of the Black Grail. Hopefully, as these Grail Knights are or Knights of the Black Grail are kind of trickling in to these Harbos Black Mountain boys, but they are going to pull back away from that engagement, and Mobius is going to send up his Blood Dragons to engage against his Harbos Black Mountain boys. So very elite units against very elite units, but I do believe that Blood Dragons are going to be a bit stronger than these Harbos orcs. But if we look over here, we do see the Graveguard Halberdier Pike units, or Halberd units, getting into position and starting to poke away at these lightly armored Savage Orc boys. But let's go take a look at my army over here. I am still trying to fire in at some of these dwarves, but it is kind of, at this point, I've lost most of my army to these Iron Drakes. They just absolutely wrecked my infantry force, and this is how you're supposed to do a dwarf army or a dwarf deployment. Kind of spread out like this. It's very difficult to approach at the flanks with cavalry. You've pretty much got to go all the way around, and at that point he's been able to whittle me down with his Iron Drakes, his Quarrelers, and his Thunderers. So this is a very, very smart move. I have not seen dwarves really utilized effectively in field battles pretty much until this battle, or at least this effectively. If I had brought more cav, I don't know if I would have done better, honestly, because just a volley or two like that from those Iron Drakes will completely decimate a unit and keep them from being effective. You know, even if I retain like 5 or 10 cav, I'm not going to be able to do much with them. And if I accidentally maneuver wrong through this just, I mean, like trench of pikes, it's over, I mean, for those cav units. So very, very good deployment on Richard's part. Absolutely destroyed my army, routed almost everybody. I'm pretty much done at this point. But if we go take a look over here at Macaroni and Cheese and Mobius's army engagements, we do see some of these Harbos Orc Archers here, but we've got some of the Blood Dragon Knights moving in behind them. These Red Lug Armored Orcs kind of holding against them, still eager in their engagements. They're not losing morale. He's going to be, Macaroni and Cheese is going to be moving up his Black Orc Bodyguard against the Blood Dragon Knights. But they're going to wheel away, and I think at this point, most of the cav force that Macaroni and Cheese had has been depleted, and the Blood Knights, or these, Blood Dragon Knights are going to get a really nice rear charge into these Harbos Black Mountain boys. Multi-HP unit, suffering really, really devastating recharge like that, it's going to cause them to shake, even though they are going to be engaged against these Grave Guard. And I think Grave Guard do incur morale penalties. I'm not sure about that. I do know the Blood Dragons do, or I'm pretty sure they do. But I think most of the undead units in the game do frighten other units, but I know Ushabti do. But anyway, Blood Dragon units, or Blood Dragon Knights, are going to be engaged against these trolls. Still very numerous and very, very strong. I think they've got like 30 defense or 30 attack, so they can typically one-shot units fairly effectively. I am going to admit defeat at this point, and I think Macaroni and Cheese is going to say, yeah, we can't really win this battle, so he is going to admit defeat as well. There was just too much cav on Mobius' side to kind of combat against. Once you lose your cav, it's very difficult to come back from those kinds of engagements. But that was the battle, guys. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys liked it. This was a very fun battle to play. Very interesting dwarf composition to see, especially once you've kind of been playing kind of with a lot of the same people for a while. Kind of a meta develops, and after a while there are certain factions that do get picked a lot and certain factions that don't, like Wood Elves and Dwarves. Well, you know, I mean, in siege battles it's a little different, but you know, it's really cool to see that dwarven shield kind of wall formation. But anyway, guys, my kills were really lackluster. My Bloodthirster Corner got 6 kills, which is just absolutely terrible. I mean, considering this is a 10,000 gold unit, and it just, I lost so much of its HP early on to those Iron Drakes, and you know, that the best thing really I think that I could have done was kind of sat back and let my cannon do a lot of the work for me, maybe pick off or try and hit some of the Iron Drake units or get them to rout. But I was in a rush, I guess. But anyway, guys, the rest of my units didn't do that well either. My Hell Cannon got 92 kills, which is like the second highest kills. My Chaos Warriors with Halberds got 96. So I did not do well at all that game, but it's still a very fun game regardless. But anyway, guys, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this content that I've been putting out. There are going to be some more games coming, but college has just started up, so I'm going to try and balance both kind of, you know, making these replays and you know, staying ahead in school. But this has kind of helped me keep deadlines, so hopefully I'll be able to stay ahead of my college deadline so they won't be, you know, too crazy. But alrighty, guys, gonna be some more siege battles coming soon, and definitely some more tournament battles coming soon. So I am Stan, and I will see you guys next time.